Hey, Chad, in this.
Here was some person from Smith River that got all the billing, and so I came in. And so Greta did tell me that the reason for that was that if they wanted to put these other names down there so they'd get a big crowd.
Did not.
Anyway, today they did tell me that I was going to demonstrate for Virginia because, you know, during the second trimester, the doctor told her she shouldn't stand for more than 10 minutes, 15 at the most. So I ended up demonstrating for her. And anyway, and then when she said she wanted me to do something to get the people to sit toward the front of the room. And so, being a creative artist, I went and got some deodorant. And then I got a picture here so that you can see it a lot better if you're up close. But for those, if there are any guests or anything like that.
But we've got that, so we all tricked you.
Right, okay. But he's got a lens so he can focus
That's
in
what
on
I mean,
small.
yeah.
But anyway, we'll see who out-tricked who goes. Anyway, this is what we're doing today. Those who laugh. I really appreciate you all letting me learn a lot, because I'll tell you right now, I will learn more. Today will be of more value to me than any of you. But I hope you all get some benefit from it and things like that. I covered up all my little thumbnails. As some of you all know, I appreciate it. And I didn't realize, I went to a workshop one time and they talked about doing some thumbnails. And some of the people who went to the workshop never made a thumbnail after it. But anyway, when I found out I was going to be doing this, I unconsciously went back and you fall into your old habits. And so I ended up with, so I made this. And then yesterday I painted something through because I know Doris, she was going to do a demonstration one time. I came in here and she was practicing for it. So I did a run yesterday. And I did it on masonite. And that was one of the most beneficial things that I learned from this. The paint handles entirely differently on a masonite panel than it does on a canvas. So all the things I did yesterday to get ready for today is in the past. Then last night in the bathtub I looked at this thing and I changed a lot of things in my mind. And so today we'll change some more of this. This is what inspired me. I just saw this in a picture. So this is where I got my it's just a little, and it's sort of dramatic. And so then I went to these things for the...
Very good.
So anyway, this is where I'm going from. This is what I'm working for. I'm going to have a dark background. So picture this at this time. I did not do a very good value sketch on there. So anyway, put up with me today, and anytime you have any questions, please ask them. The restroom's there.
When you said you painted on masonite, which side is the masonite?
That's a good question, because I painted on both sides, and I hate the rough side.
Oh.
And the smooth side was really nice. It was a little bit rough because you sanded between the gesso that you put on it. But it's still, I hate to say this, I like it for seascapes, the one I did yesterday. It was really exciting.
What part did you like?
The slickness, the water down there just looks like glass, and it reflects things. And then I like sort of the feel of it. You just have to do it. You know, you might not like it. Yeah. We all look at things and feel differently about things. And so anyway, this medium that I'm going to be using today is stand oil and turpentine. And then when I finish certain amount of that goes through your skin. And so if you put some of this baby oil on your hand, I'm hoping not as much goes through. I don't know, but that applies to whatever form you're using it. And so anyway, we'll get going here. Then when I clean my brushes, I clean them with herb, and then I go through them and I put a little of this baby oil on them when I get through to condition them to keep them feeling. This one hasn't been used much, but some of these, see, I've used it a lot with staining colors, and it still feels just the same, and it responds just the same. And as I say, Greta wants me to entertain, but I want to try to teach and share with you some of the mistakes I've made, and God knows I made them. And so anyway, we're going to go in here, and as I say, if you have any questions, don't sit around thinking that if you ask a question, it's going to be a stupid question. Sometimes there's only one stupid question, and that's the questions that hasn't been asked.
Right.
And so now this last night I didn't know if it was going to be a cloud bank coming in here and then coming over here and then a little in here. Didn't know if it was going to be a headland back there or something like that. Then I looked at it and I thought, well, when I was sitting in the hot water, I was thinking this might be nice as a vignette, so I might not want it. So this I'll have to decide today, and we'll make the decisions. But this is why, this was sort of my original plan, to have this in a cloud bank or a headland or something like that. But I sort of like it without it. I don't know. Depends on how some of those things I ate worked on me toward the end of the picnic.
We got good cooks here.
Yeah, that was.
What's in that jar?
About 50% stand oil and turf.
So you don't pre-mix any of your color combinations?
That's what these are that I'm using right now. I pre-mix these. These Winsor Newtons are really nice. Like this is sky blue, and this is dark rock, sunlight rock. So you just have to mix them in and do what you want. But I mixed these up with, in fact, throw this on here, and if it comes out like you want it later on, you can just leave it. Or you can go back and add more to it. Like down here, I might add some lighter stuff, so this is why I'm keeping it thinner here. But then I will have some of this color used as a that's what happens when you're thinking about 2 or 3 things at a time. I can't finish some of my sentences. I'm sorry.
Can we help you if we feel like it?
Please do. Help me with my sentences or with the painting?
We got a lot of women here, they all know how to talk. Finish sentences. You're doing great.
Is Annie doing good?
I took her back out, she was crying quite a bit.
Oh. She must like that border collie in the car next to her.
So what did you use for your sketch?
I just made it up.
No, I mean as far as the
Oh, this
or
is
the-
burnt sienna,
Right.
and this is another thing. I didn't like these pyramid rocks last night, so I'm going to have a lot of problems today, so please put up with me. I'm going to be changing a lot of this stuff. But you got to be loose when you're painting, and you got to enjoy it and feel good about it, and just be loose. Ginger and I went to that Tall Ship Festival, you know, that you had 2 years ago, You painted several, I've seen some of you who were painting there that day. And we were doing a lot of discussion and painting and things like that. And it was sort of consensus, everybody said you just got to be loose when you're painting. And then some of them gave some good ideas. I got 7 good ideas on getting loose. There was vodka, gin, scotch. And Loretta, she had the best idea. She said to get loose, she always used little green apples.
Green apples.
Ginger knows where that came from. We're getting some apples, and we've been testing them to see if they're ready for juice yet, you know. Okay, so now that is primarily blue. And another thing I'm going to try to do today, I'm going to help myself most, remember, if you've been, that's fine. But what I'm going to try to do is to get, this doesn't look like it's going to be very colorful yet, but I'm going to try to make this a bright, colorful painting. But what I'm getting is I don't want, and I've done some seascapes and things like that, and florals and things like that. The whole darn thing is too psychedelic bright colors. So I'm going to try to have, in my mind, what I'm trying to do today is to get some nice colors in here, but also not gaudy, okay? Acceptable, but bright. And if I don't succeed, that's fine. I've learned something that I can't do it that way. Okay, so now I'm going to go down in here into the water, and I've pre-mixed this, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of green in it. Now we've lost our horizon line. Is that good or bad? I don't know. We'll worry about that later. Now, I was talking to Ginger, and I guess it's too complicated. I can't figure it out. But what I'm thinking about is I'm going to have some sun come in here, at this angle here. So what am I doing here? I'm putting these dark shades back in here. And now as I get into this area up here, this is what some people call an underpainting or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this one I was doing yesterday, I was trying to do it in an hour because Greta said I only had an hour. She's a real taskmaster. And she took 10 minutes talking about announcements before you. Anyway, does that count on my hour?
No.
But anyway.
We brought our pajamas, don't worry about it.
Oh, good. Have a sleepover instead of a paint-over. But anyway, Ginger came in and I was at about a third of the way through. And you think she had goiter, her eyes was big, you know. And she said, okay, I better take the dog out. Then later on I heard the dog in the back, and here she was peeking around the corner, and she said, I was just going to see if you could save it. So, anyway, now you see I'm coming down in here, and I'm getting a little bit lighter in my greens. And is that going to be too much of a change? I don't know. That's getting awful bright, isn't it? But this is why I explained to you a minute ago that I was going to try to make it bright, so then if I do this and it doesn't look good, then I've made an excuse already. Okay, now, oh, did I mention Doris told me that I was supposed to announce that people in the front rows were
Did you say that, Doris?
Lies. Entertainment.
Okay. Now, I've got to make my decisions. And like Ginger comes in and says, well, where's your light source? Where does this come from? That come from? And I go along with it because I want dinner. But at certain stages when I am painting, I don't care where the light course is. I'm not a good painter, but I am a paint by number, and I am trying to get away from that. And
A likely story.
I am. I'm really trying hard to get away from that. And I'll show you some of my old paintings, and I hope at the end of the day you'll see some of my old tendencies fall in here. But I didn't like this rock here last night, so I'm getting rid of that right now.
Gotta have him do some of our murals.
What?
Gotta have him work on some of our murals, look how fast he is.
Yes. Just 100 feet to go.
Yeah. Well, this last June I had my 60th birthday, so now I got to figure I got to start painting faster.
I don't think it works that way.
I think it goes the other way.
Yes.
Ask
What
me.
was I doing again?
Okay. Now,
What's in the bucket down
this is turp, and as I say, I got baby oil on my brushes, and so I stick them in there before I use them first time, and then I'm trying to get away from as much turp as I can because it is volatile and it carries things through the air as well as through your hands. It's awful quiet in here. No, Ginger took the dog out.
What colors do you like to pre-mix for your dark?
Yesterday I did different than I did today. I'm always experimenting around. I'll tell you the big secret that I'm using today, and this is, and I've said this before, people have talked about it. There are a lot of things. You should divide your canvas. You should never have the horizon in the middle of the thing. So what did I do? I put it in the middle of the thing. And you should never use black, because this kills the colors and things like that. You should always use the complement. And this goes into my theory on how I'm going to make this be bright and not gaudy, is that I used a lot of black in these mixes that I made. In fact, every one of these mixes that I'm going to be using today has black in it. And how it's going to come out, maybe you'll learn something too. I learned a lot yesterday, but I know what I was doing. And so what I have today, if you want to know, there's another, I was just showing Ginger when I mix these up, there's a Terra Verde. It's a green. It's sort of a blackish green to start out with. And so I mixed the Terra Verde with black, and I got this. I mixed cerulean blue with black and got this. this down here. I mixed all these things in one pile here. And I mixed these cold colors. You can lose your cool. Right? You can lose your cool, but you can't lose your heat. So I started with my cool colors. And then I will go to my warm colors. Because you can get your cool colors back, but you can't get your warm colors back very easily. That's another one of these rules that you can break all the time. Have fun breaking them. And now oh, that's what I was talking about. So I mixed all these colors here in this one pile. So this one pile, every one of these things has some black in it, and it has some of the cerulean blue in it. And then as I go down to the warmer colors, then they don't have as much of these cool colors. I'm getting in the right side of my brain. I can tell I have to sit and think, what is warm and cool? You think I know that, you know? I know my pants from my shirt, but I get them mixed up. You know? And so sometimes if I say something completely stupid, which I do a lot, it's because my brain is shifting, and this is what I'm thinking about. And
That's cool.
so I'm making up. It's okay to lose your cool. Just don't lose your pants. Okay, now, do something right here. Now I'm going to come in here, and these colors that I have in here, I'm going to now, I'm sort of exaggerating this here. Remember what happened there? This thing, you remember that? See how strong, this rock ends right here. Look how strong that is. So that's what I liked about this picture. I've got a bunch of photos, and I've never seen this in any of my photos. Maybe as a cameraman like Chuck over there knows how to take it, and I've heard that, you know, good photographers, they do most of their work in their lab, not out on the subject. So anyway, so let's hopefully. And then these rocks in here, that's going to have some browns showing through into the shadow. And if you get the wrong paint, it's all right. Just use it in a lot of places. Where'd that rock end? So like Ginger and I were talking, we have the sun coming in from here, so where am I going to have my highlights and things like that? This is something we've got to sort of decide sometime. And we talked about having the splash go this way to come into
To the light.
source area. That's what happens when you use cheap brushes, you know. You get a bunch of okay.
Gus, anytime you can move to your left as you're painting will be helpful.
Not only entertaining, but Position is everything.
Well, I just found out that I put too much, well, that was in the rock, wasn't it? I put too much color in here, and so oh yeah, another thing, when you got all these browns and things like that up here in the rocks and things like that, and there's water down here, it's okay to throw a little of this down in here. And then when it works out, it'll show up. Now that's another thing I happen to think of when we're talking about light sources and things like that. And okay. Now we got these rocks here, and we'll have our light coming in right here. And that's not dark. So now I've got some shadows worked into this water when we develop that later on. Now you heard me say we. But we'll take volunteers anytime.
We like group painting.
Right, just like the mural.
Yeah.
This is going to be a cloudy day, but yeah, we're going to have sun hitting this quote-unquote center of interest. Now, I'm sure you can all realize right now how valuable that thumbnail sketches are. Now, Doris said she wanted me to do as many things as I could to keep everyone awake. Okay. This is my white brush. Now I'm beginning to think, I wish I hadn't mentioned that it was warm in here. Because some nice ladies went and opened some windows and cooled it down. And now what I am thinking is that now this will not tack up as fast. So I'm going to be having trouble with my highlights in,
We can close those skylights.
no, don't be nice to me. Who was that who was going to close them? I knew that wasn't your attitude.
They're going to fire me if you keep this up.
I don't think we'll ever fire you.
And so the reason I did a lot of this first is that I wanted this to be the tacked up the most when I got around to, you know, since I only get an hour. Taskmaster, she's, maybe you could have a little bit more than an hour. See, Alice gives you 36.
I'm sorry.
Is that straight white, but you're just?
Yeah, on a dirty
brushing it?
brush,
Yeah.
combining with the dirty stuff down here. Honestly, how many of you think I'm going to be able to save this? 2, 3 maybe. Well, at least.
How many think it doesn't need saving?
That's another thing. Ginger's my 2x4. And, she stays in shape that way. And I guess I could look up there, couldn't I?
Yeah, look on TV. Especially when you're standing right in front of it. Look over there. Notice how the picture is.
Okay, I think I've done enough futzing around with this here now until I get some other things developed. Gestalt, is that right? Gestalt? Is you're supposed to bring the whole painting, to work it all together at the same time. In other words, get in the masses, the values, and things like that. I didn't remember I was not supposed to stand in that till just then. I'm glad you reminded me.
Now you're getting it. There you go.
Put an X on the floor.
I can see it since I lost some weight. Okay.
Are the marks on the rock where you took off part of the paint, or where you put white on top of it, the big brown rock? There are
This
little
right here?
striations, the striations in the brown part.
To your name.
Oh, here?
Yeah,
That's just canvas showing through.
okay.
Uh,
But did you scrape that?
no,
Okay.
no, I just with the brown paint and let some of the bigger canvas show
Okay.
through. Okay.
Anytime anybody asks a question, we subtract that from the hour, so no problem.
Oh, good. Can we get a bathroom break then? Okay. Okay. Now.
Gus, now just turn and look at the TV. When you'll see there.
Smile.
Turn and show my best.
No, I
This
gotta,
side?
no, if you turn and look at the TV when you're standing in front of the painting, then you'll see what what the cameraman is talking.
TV. Okay.
You'll see how your body is hiding the painting.
He's a nice person. He makes it stupid nut. Get out of the way. Could have said that. You know?
Glad I'm not.
You have to be nice to get along with all us women.
That's for sure. Gotta know your place.
You're making that nice and fluffy. It looks good.
What?
Yeah.
It looks good. You're making it nice and fluffy.
Fluffy. Okay.
Uh-oh.
The sea is fluffy.
It is fluffy. Yes, it is fluffy. It's good.
Fluffy is good at any age. No, I enjoyed coming down here. The last time I was here, everyone likes compliments, you know. And last time I was here, Lynn Graves gave me a nice compliment. It's when I finished, you know, and I put a frame up over it. And she looked at it, she said, "Oh," I thought, "that's a lovely frame." But I like her. I like her honesty.
She couldn't see either.
This is embarrassing.
Eventually you can stand behind the canvas and reach your arm
Yeah,
over
reach
the
out.
top.
Listen, I'm having enough trouble in front.
Just do your thing.
Here?
Yeah, I got a good seat, whatever.
Boy, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Chuck, I'm sorry. But just belch or something anytime.
Oh, you're doing fine. We're all enjoying it.
Who cares about the painting?
Yeah, let's hear some more jokes.
It's coming out on the TV pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking darn nice. And that's not black, that's just what, dark brown?
That is ivory black and dioxine purple.
Really?
Black and purple.
Yeah. In other words, it's dark.
Mhm.
And I don't care what it is. In fact, this painting, if we take this outside when I get through, it's going to look... And he's supposed to sit in the back. Doris told me I was supposed to get all the people sleeping in the back.
He was visualizing the painting in the back.
Right.
He's listening carefully.
So what happens when you take the painting outside?
Yeah.
The colors look entirely different.
Yeah, that's true.
Outside, you'll be able to see some of that purple. Painting I did yesterday, the light source was from here, so how'd I put my lines?
That's just pure orange out of
Yep,
it, too?
this is pure orange. Dead orange. And that's another thing. If you read labels on your paints, they'll say a health label, it's okay. It's not. There's a lot of bad junk in those things, even if it says it's okay. Okay? It's like a lot of governmental things, you know.
Where do we get them from China?
Yeah, right.
Get now.
Just don't,
What, Doris?
Where do we get them from China if we think they're bad?
And then like these new ones, your phthalos and your diaphloxanines, or how do you pronounce that?
Quinacridone.
And those things, they don't know yet. If they've only been around a few years, how are they going to know what they do to us in 50 years? You know? So just be careful. Try to keep your hands, see, you know, I got a mess here, but my hands are still clean. I got none on my nose or mouth or anything. Okay. When I get new brushes, I put them in these buckets here, and then after I learn how to use them, then I put them in the far bucket. I think these shadows should be a little bit darker down here. This is why I'm doing this.
What do you use for turpentine?
It's an odorless. It creates fewer headaches than the regular turf.
I can't smell it.
And that's that new deodorant. It fills the room. Okay. Now I just took white with a little bit of orange, and some medium. Whoa.
there you go.
You thought your bead was so transparent.
When I'm doing 90% of my painting, I don't know if she's a man or a woman. I didn't remember, did you? But I keep my eyes really closed. And this way, it's not as good as standing back, but it sure helps a lot on your values, your edges, and your temperatures.
Right. Squinting is good.
And,
How about if you wear glasses but you take them off when you're painting so you can't see quite so well?
that's
Wear
good.
sunglasses.
That's,
Then you don't fret the details, you don't.
right, right. Just like when you, like Greta does portraits, you know, where it's concise. There's nothing concise here, but you have your center of interest. And I've heard that if you're working on the center of interest, look here and paint here. It's sort of like painting painting here and standing here, I guess. Now I don't know. Now,
Is that going to be a sandy beach, or is it going to be foam on water?
what do you want?
I'm asking you what your plans are.
I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, I hate to be practical, but I did think about some sandy beaches on these. But if you have that big a wave, you don't have a sandy beach. You have this big a wave on a cliff like this, but you don't have it. And then some purists would say, you know, not that big, splash there on the beach. So that's why I decided that I wouldn't. But
You
it
haven't
would-
ever hurt any of these people that make comments like that?
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I've learned in the last few years of my life to sort of
You tell us what he would say.
yeah. Well, I'll worry about that later. Okay, now we're going to come in here, and that was a warm white, okay? Now we're going to come in here.
It was a warm because,
It had orange in it.
okay.
Now we're going to have a,
Same orange you put on the rock there.
yeah. So here I put a little of ultramarine, which is cooler than cerulean. And so where am I going to put this? I'm going to put this in the shadows, which is a cooler area. Then, what did I put? What am I going to put in there? What I said I put in everything?
Black.
So that takes this from a high chroma blue to a duller blue. And I've mixed, I've worked with the 5-color wheel, I've worked with the 6-color wheel, and I've tried complements. And hanging black, in my eye, works so much better than all these complements. And where is it on the wheel? And as I say, there's the 2-color wheels, the 5 and the 6-color. You all familiar with the 5-color wheel? Okay, the 6-color wheel, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. On the 5-color wheel, it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. In other words, just from 12 to 3 o'clock is red, orange, yellow. Then you go straight across on the others. Blue and orange are complements in both the 2-color wheels. And so I worked with all those things, and I didn't get any place. And I'm excited about this black stuff. Now maybe you all won't like it, and that's wonderful that you saw this. Now you know you don't like it, so you won't use it in yours.
Have you always put black in your paint, or you just
No, I
started
just
doing
started
that?
that this week.
This morning.
You're using ivory black. Is there a reason you chose ivory black instead of Mars black? Because it's cooler?
Oh yes, there's a
And it has
definite
blue.
reason. And that reason is that I didn't know where my Mars black was. So it was a very important decision that
It
I made.
wasn't because it was a bluer black.
It might work fine. Mars black or ivory black or
Ivory black would work better than Mars
what's the other black?
Pitch black.
Pitch. Now see, this looks fairly dark on there, you know, but then when you go in there, it's light.
Surprising, yeah.
So, as I've told, in fact, I told this when I demonstrated before, go outside and take your finger or something like this and put it in the sunlight and look, and this is all the same color. Look at the difference in value between those two things. And think about that every time you paint something that's in shadow. And to me, you can get that color real easy with black. I'm pushing black today. I don't have any stock in the black company.
combination of all the colors?
Ross's black is phthalo green and alizarin crimson. Midnight black, they call it. But I think on ivory black, they get some of it from some chart. I don't know those questions. Sorry.
Well, I'm glad you didn't know all the answers, I didn't either.
Well, I should have told you something, then you wouldn't have known I didn't know it.
Right.
Now, Doris, since you brought this up about this down here, would you come up here and paint this for me?
Yay.
She can do it.
That's given me more problems.
We'll just save that for the next hour.
The sun is shining on it, you got to remember that.
Yeah. So, the sun is shining on it, what do I gotta do? I gotta bring in more darks. Right? Let's try it.
Does that oil mixture dry fast or slow?
This is why I'm using the 50-50 today, because it dries faster.
What does 50-50 mean?
50-50 means half and half.
Of what?
Stand oil and turb.
And what do you usually use? What?
This
percentage?
week, I use different things all the time.
I know.
And liquid
I love it.
and
It dries really fast.
And what's the purpose of half and half, to retard the drying or
no,
make it easier to paint?
accelerates it a little bit.
Oh, it accelerates?
What is stand oil?
It's linseed oil that has stood around in a big old cake pan, so to speak. In other words, something that the sun comes down and it just evaporates a certain amount of the viscous material in the linseed oil. Wow. And it's
Like concentrated linseed oil.
see the way that drips? You know how turpentine would drip. It would really drip.
Yeah.
But this I want, I get one problem and I start thinking about that. And I want to keep this line of light coming in here.
Chuck, could we have a close-up of what he's doing now?
Certainly, Greta. Yeah, there you go.
I've got quite a few hard edges here, which I should start breaking down.
Pieces that I have to see too.
No. Yes.
This would be a much nicer painting if I could paint it in front, but since I have to paint to the side, I'm sorry. Now what I'm doing right here, probably most of you at the distance you're at, you can't tell that I'm throwing magenta in here, I am throwing alizarin crimson in here, I am throwing dioxazine purple in here. And I thought she was waving at me. So I'm just throwing different colors in here, and so then they all blend in the eye, and if you get way in the back, you might not even be able to tell these colors are there, but they blend, and to me they give a richness to it. Gosh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Dick. You can move.
Doris, come and help me.
You are so funny.
I didn't plan this out. I didn't have it planned. I'm having problems. And
We'll never know.
But you could tell us.
Looks like you're solving them.
Yeah, he's teaching us what to do.
just keep trying something.
Looks good from here.
I know an optometrist for rookies. Now we've got I know some of you are going to say I'm going to be making this background too dark, and that's fine. You all have your opinions. What I'm trying to do is bring this out, and so I'm going to take my famous black and get a little bit of texture, variety in here. And with my closed eye, that's why I paint. With my closed eye, then it looks good anytime. In fact, I wake up, open my eyes, and I see some really bad blobs I left there. Now, some of you liked it better a minute ago. And maybe some of you will like it better now.
It's better now.
Most of you think it's better now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At least I made one good decision. Okay, now, do we want to leave this as a vignette? Or do we want to, I think I'm really going to darken this side over here to make this more like that, you know, that picture that I got that I don't know how they got. 'Cause I never got anything like that. Oh, speaking of that tall ship thing where we all painted down here last year, I sold a painting I did there at the port show this fall.
Yay!
So, a year later, I sold it.
You're ahead of us. Was it last year the winds were gale force when we were down there?
It's
We
terrible.
were trying to hang on to our canvases, realizing they were perfect sails.
That must have been this year.
Last year.
When do you call?
2007.
We were here 2 years, we were 2 tall ship shows ago. I don't know how
Uh-huh.
you-
And this year, the tall ship, there were no artists outside.
Oh, okay.
We learned our lesson.
Were we here 3 years ago?
No, last year.
2 years.
Last year was, so last year we had a tall ships, and then this year we had a tall
Yeah.
ships. Because they come in May.
Okay, Doris, am I gonna put the horizon in or not? Where'd she go? My help.
No horizon, I'll help you. I like it without the horizon.
No. Should I put a horizon in there?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Good.
I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, that's an easy choice.
That gives it so much dimension.
So what I'm doing here is I'm blending in some of this green, working in some into the sky. And so we got a transition there that maybe bothers some, maybe doesn't bother others. You know, everybody likes people to appreciate their work, but I've gotten to a point where I just paint for myself. And if other people like it, that's fine, you know? And one day I will have an entirely different feeling about something than I will the next day. I'll go to bed at night and be halfway happy with the painting and then get up the next morning and know Gremlin Ginger in during the night while I was snoring.
But doesn't the opposite happen too?
Beg pardon?
Doesn't the opposite happen too? You don't like it, and you get up and wow.
It might have once in '03. No, I
Really?
don't have those nice things happen to me. Maybe I'm just not a good person like you. I mean, she's a real, you know, connoisseur of good art and frames. Okay. I just noticed I should have been using maybe some of this dark green right in here instead of the blue. But I'm having terrible time with these shadows. You getting a feeling of a shadow behind those things at all? some way.
If pictures didn't have foregrounds, they'd all be good.
Be easier.
Sometimes
backgrounds.
And backgrounds and middle grounds.
The middle grounds are easiest.
Now, I was getting a little bit close to this point where I was needing softened edges. Ginger let Annie in. Annie came in, and I was sitting here painting. Take your tail and soften a lot of the edges. She did it a lot faster than I could have. But I had to spend more time cleaning her tail.
Yeah.
But that was a new experience, and that was something different and nice. If anyone has a suggestion of what I'm going to do with this crazy front here,
Is it wet enough to rub with Kleenex?
and soften it, you mean? And Kleenex would pick all up on this. I can scrape it, which I might do in a minute or so.
Well, I think you're
That's
getting it.
looking better.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Anything's better.
Can you put another rock down in the lower corner?
Very good.
Good.
Uh,
I was thinking of something dark.
I had, do you all remember, before I started this today, there was this burnt sienna area right down here? I had a rock there and I wiped it out because I wanted this nice open path. I didn't want a rock to block. But now, since this has happened, maybe a rock would be good there.
But should you wait till tomorrow to find that out?
I only get an hour and 15 at best.
I think it's whether you like asymmetric or symmetry. I kind of like asymmetric. Because you put a rock there, then it's going to be anchored on either corner.
Yeah.
Could you start going back to your blue-green at the very bottom and,
Put some,
you know, like if it's way out in the ocean with that big thing, it seems like it would go back to blue or green
Dark blue, dark.
after the wave was done. Or is it on the shore?
no, I sort of like this right here.
That is wonderful.
And
Yeah.
it's almost as good as a frame.
Yeah, it's a great, the contrast where you have the
Yeah.
white against the dark.
And it's the only place in the picture. It's that
Well,
big,
when you
it's
get something
strong
that good, you're
contrast.
supposed to put it all over.
What?
When you get something that good, you should put it everywhere.
And I have that habit.
I know, I
screw
do
it
that all the
up.
time.
Don't we all? I'm amazed that you did all that in oil in such a short time.
It looks good.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
I think you did okay.
Okay, I think this corner has got to be darkened quite a
Yes.
bit.
Yes, that's.
Is that what you said a minute ago?
Yeah.
Just the sunlight spotted. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bingo. That was black, huh?
Yeah. Oh, and I think this is too bright a green down here too. Too high psychedelic, selling soda pop or. Now I gotta make a decision.
There you go.
That was good.
Yes,
Yeah.
don't touch it.
Your hour's up.
The trick.
You're Tomorrow it'll all be changed anyway.
Okay, your spotlight interview.
Yeah, and I'm setting this up, and then I'm gonna bring some real light right in here, some warm light.
Oh.
This is what I'm planning on doing, and it might help it, it might screw it up. It might take a good frame to survive it. I remember that was the only compliment I got.
'Cause I wasn't here.
I think this needs to be dark right in there.
Yeah, I'll be.
Before everybody runs out, if you want to take a package of tickets for the fish fry to sell, they're up front. Thank you. Sorry.
That's all right, Doris. I needed to break.
Another 5 minutes off of time.
And you notice this is the first time I've washed the brush today, other than washing the baby stuff out of it. And so I am going to, another thing, never use straight white. You know, you've been told that a lot of times.
Never use what?
Straight white,
Oh,
you know. And so that's what I'm doing.
oh.
I don't want to overdo it, get too many stars, if you want to call it that.
Guess you ought to be back here and look at that.
It's beautiful.
It looks
Just
great back here.
gorgeous.
Well,
Looks great today.
Come back here and look at it.
Okay, I still got problems in Doris's place. I'd have done a lot better job there, other than she screwed me up.
Looking great.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It was good.
Perfect, perfect.
You're scaring us now.
yeah. Amazing.
now you start figuring out the problems. And you diddle around, and you don't know what the devil to do.
Stop.
Yeah, just sign it.
Stop.
Sound fine too.
Yeah.
Now, there's just 8 more things that I've got to do.
See that little knob on that one wave?
Knob, that,
No, up,
that,
no.
that,
Against
that.
this guy.
On the left-hand one.
Oh,
Left-hand.
this?
There, that little knob.
Do something with that.
Mhm.
I like it.
I like it. It looks all right.
Painting by commission.
Do what you want to.
That's what I say.
Ignore us. What do we know? We're learning.
Because we're used to painting by committee.
You're right, Nancy.
I'm going to go around and sort of soften some of these edges. To me, I think that's too hard. It's the edge right there.
And what do? Just put a lighter color in there?
No, I'm just taking the color that's there in a clean brush and just going over the top of it.
Don't worry about it. Wait till he moves aside. There you go. He does occasionally.
Oh, bloody old Chuck back there.
Now you painting by number? Beautiful.
It's very, very nice.
Very nice.
What number are we on?
Yeah.
3.
We've got 10 minutes of film left.
3, 2, 1.
I got 10 minutes.
Oh, go ahead, go. It's not gonna make it. Every once in a while I kick in after Gus stands in front of the painting.
We think the artist is the above.
Gus Gustafson. I'm not sure how you spell it. Well, his wife is here.
No, but I mean that spelling, I never realized.
Gus.
That's why I can always work with the 2x4.
Over there, just
Time for the
close to the
2x4.
door.
March,
Next to my- next to
charge.
the door.
There's always something else to do.
Ginger.
That's the nice thing about oils. Watercolors, you almost don't need it too
Yeah,
much
she-
with you.
The last time,
Because
never
there
seen
comes
that
a
easel
time
here
where you
before?
don't have any
That
paper
same
left,
easel?
or
That ladder?
you can't pick it all up. But here, you can scrape it off and completely change it.
Oh, well, his wife did that last time. The last time they were here, there was a couple of sheep paintings. Now this time he's painting.
Look how neat his material's laid out.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, you should take a picture of that.
Yeah.
That's quite a rig. really amazing what he's done in an hour.
Stand back when I watch it. Yeah, I should paint that one.
Just had a basic, kind of an outline, just a very basic outline there on the canvas to begin with.
Now, maybe most of you, and I'm sure it doesn't even show on the TV, cannot see what I'm doing now. But I'm just adding some real bright red all through here.
Well, we'll move right in.
And,
Okay, now do it again there, Jess.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that.
and so we don't, that isn't really out there. That's okay.
That was pure red, no black?
That was pure red, cadmium red.
It's a very light touch, right? So
Yeah, I'm just flecking it around here. Now, do you all see that color I'm putting in there now?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, then it's an hour and a half.
Well,
It's
oh
really
yeah, he's
blue,
over
right?
time,
It's
yeah.
a
we're
greeny
down.
blue.
Yeah, a little bit after. I started painting about 10 after, quarter after.
And then that gives this painting sparkle when you look at it up close or far back. And what do rocks have a lot of times around the surface? Some green. So I'm just going to throw some green in.
All you painters, that's, we're going to have 30, 40 feet of rock at the bottom of our mural. So I hope you're all taking notes.
Notes on how to do it or how not to do it.
How to do it, these are gorgeous.
Well, he can just come down and do it.
Yeah, Gus
Yeah.
was,
That,
That's what I
Nancy,
said.
right.
yeah.
Or come in and clean up everybody else's work, huh?
Yeah, that also, maybe, yeah. Maybe just come down one day and just correct all the rocks.
Without anybody telling him what to do.
Well, I gotta have Doris and Ginger there to tell me what to do.
Lee,
I could fiddle all day here.
Well, we're down to the 2-minute warning
Okay.
anyways.
Wow.
Very, very nice.
Yeah,